All right. Woo!
To get that. All right. Welcome to the Embrace the Awkward podcast, where we have one goal in mind, helping you handle awkward better. I'm Mike, and this is Kyle. Thank
Hey.
you guys for watching or listening. And the episode we have for you today is one that's it's a question that I have as
Okay.
a um, not as experienced youth worker. I don't want to say like
Okay.
an early guy, but I've been doing this for I feel like it feels like forever. It's
Yeah.
been about 4. I mean, we're going on to year 4 here, so
So it's like cat years.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically, I'm basically doing this for however I don't can't
It
do the math right
it
now.
is interesting. I don't have any data to back this up. I just have feelings that if you're doing regular ministry, as in like let's say you're a lead pastor, that's kind of normal. 1 year equals 1 year. But youth ministry, it feels like there's like 4 years in 1 year because you're doing so much. But that's a whole nother thing.
Oh
Maybe that's another
yeah,
episode.
yeah. That's a Barna statistic.
Yeah.
Uh,
There you go.
actually, don't believe
Fact.
those. Yeah, that's the one. Don't take that for what it is. But our episode today is just talking about how do we keep or build momentum during the summer.
Mm,
I think as youth workers, summertime is hard for everybody. I don't think there's a youth group out there right now that's, doing the same thing that they were in March that they are in June or July. And
yeah.
so, uh, Kyle, how's your summer been?
Good. I mean, we're kind of just the start of it. And so we have a crazy summer. Our summer is packed, but I hire several interns to come and do the majority of the ministry. So I take a much like a backseat role and help them craft messages and plan events. So we do a lot more programming this summer, but it's not extra work for me. It's just different work because I'm kind of leading a team versus it's all responsibility for me or my director during the school year. So I would say overall good. What about you? Like, how, particularly like this summer, how has it been for you?
Yeah, I think overall it's been pretty good. Nothing out of the ordinary for sure, but we kind of just have this one challenge that seems to come back every summer. It's just like a constant thing. Like at this point, it's not an outlier.
Okay.
But like we're hitting the summer attendance like slump.
Okay.
During the school year, we average 40 or 50 students, and like that's good energy. Like
Yeah.
like anything you do, people are excited. Even if you don't have a lot going on, the amount of people in the room kind of changes. You're filling up a space.
Yeah.
And so, and like we're taking 40 to camp throughout middle school and high school, so it's all
Okay.
good. But like our summer events, like we're fortunate to have 20. We just had a
Mm.
movie night last night,
Okay.
and we had from our group we had about 18, and
Okay.
then we
What
had two
what
from
movie
another
was it?
church. We were watching Home.
Home. Oh, the animated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, animated,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, super fun,
Yeah.
you know. And we watched Home, and there's about 20 of us there, and it was good. Like we had, it's one of
Yeah.
those things that you have enough couches so everybody can sit not on the floor. So
Yeah.
it's
That's
you feel
nice.
good about it. But so for this summer, like we've done different kinds of events. We did water wars. We try to do things on different days of the week.
Hmm.
We try
Hmm.
adjusting times earlier, later. But it just seems like between like sports and vacations, jobs, even like lack of like initiating, just wanting to be there, right? Like between all of
Yeah.
those
I'm
things,
just relaxing. So now I have to get dressed or get my
yeah,
shoes on and go to youth group. Like, I just want to continue
yeah.
relaxing.
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was at the pool all day. Why would I want to go to youth group afterwards
Right.
or whatever? We see this attendance drop, and so like we end the year with we do our end of the year party, and
Hmm.
it's like huge, it's a huge hit. Like we kind of go all out for it, and then a few weeks later, we have middle school camp, and then we try to meet. Our summer kind of starts right after that, and
Right.
we kind of just we like I said we have this momentum, and then as soon as summer hits, like the participation just declines. like immediately. And even some of the events that we have done, like say we do like a pool party every summer, like at the end of the summer to kind of back to school bash, end of summer transition, right? It used to be like something that was really big and fun. And every year we kind of just lost like five or six. And so like you kind of get these ebbs and flows, but summers are hard. And so, for me, as you are an experienced youth worker, I just want to talk about, yeah, how do we keep or build this momentum? Because I think summertime is one of the most important times of ministry, especially when you have camp in the realm, right? Because that's a high
Yeah.
point. Like, you want to build into that and you also want to build out of that. And so I just wanted to kind of hear what you have to say about that, and we can kind of, talk through it and see. My goal is to learn something today, and hopefully we can. It takes time, but we can adjust some of the things that we're doing because summer is important.
Yeah, so I always say I'm not an expert, I just have experience. And so I've gone through the summers where I felt defeated at the end of summer
Hmm.
because I was like, I did all this extra work and half the numbers.
Yeah.
And yet can do the exact same event in the school year and
Oh
then
yeah.
it explodes. And
Hmm.
I really struggled because I had the wrong perception of summer. I thought summer is where you amp up everything and therefore everything will be amped up, including your attendance. And so that's what I thought. I just make the summer big and it'll be big. So that's kind of what I want to talk about is just we have to change our perspective. So when we talk about summer, everyone is different. So youth ministries are different. So if you have a youth ministry in the rural setting, you might have a totally different programming or culture than an urban setting when it comes to the summer. So I've kind of basically figured out three different options that youth ministries have. The first option, which if you're a smaller church or you're a volunteer youth worker or something like that, you take the summer off. There's no programming.
Hmm.
And so basically, you do nothing. You offer nothing. Now, here's the thing. That doesn't mean you're bad or you're lazy. What tends to happen, I've seen with this is, well, I got two camps, or I got, kids camp and then middle school camp and then high school camp and then maybe a mission trip. So there's
Hmm.
big program events, but you can't meet in between because there's just too much and you're only just one person. So if you don't
Right.
have a staff going on a mission trip and a camp and programming, that's a lot.
Sure.
So there's no programming. The other thing is maybe you have responsibility for kids ministry because you coordinate with kids ministry. So if kids ministry don't meet in the summertime and they just do VBS, that's what you do. And so I've seen a lot of churches who the biggest struggle is when a new youth pastor comes in and the church used to have no programming for the past, decade
Yeah.
or since the beginning. New youth pastor comes in and says, "Okay, I want to do something in the summertime." And all the parents and all the staff are like, "Wait, why? We've never done that before."
Hmm.
And when they ask why do we do that, I mean, it's been so long they don't even remember why they first made that decision. And so usually there's no programming. The second option, they have regular programming. This usually is like the big Life Church multi-site
Hmm.
programs that they have camp in the summertime. But they do not stop. They go year round every Wednesday night. This is what we're going to do. No break. We'll just do maybe a guest speaker in the summertime, but that's it. They'll meet year round. And I do think these numbers dip too. So I don't think it's well, the solution just go year round and never stop. I don't think that's the case.
Right.
And the third thing, which I've had the most success. Now, success doesn't necessarily mean numbers or, 40 students came to Christ last summer because I did this. No.
Right.
We'll talk about what a definition of success is for me, but what I call switch up programming. So you still meet regularly throughout the summer, but it's a different program dynamic. So maybe you don't do small groups and you do after parties. That's kind of what we do. Or maybe you don't meet Wednesday nights and you do Bible studies in the mornings, or something different programmatic wise, but you're still meeting. So those are the three options: no programming, regular programming, or switching it up.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's a right or wrong, but I do
Sure.
know that not having anything, like no programming whatsoever, I've seen really hurt momentum.
Hmm.
And so that's probably the biggest, dare I say, victim of not having programming is it's the awkward time. I have not seen a student in 3 to 4 months, and they show up in August, and now this eighth grader is talking like this because his voice changed, right? And you're like, oh, you've grown up. But I missed that whole aspect.
Hmm.
And so it's super awkward. I've also seen many students fade away in the summertime and they don't come back.
Yeah.
We reach out, and it's not because they don't like it, it's just they experience life without youth group and therefore they're like, okay, maybe it's not as important as I thought it was,
Yeah.
or they get involved in something else, whether it's good or bad. So have you noticed it's usually the same families that dip, or it's basically one family and they show up only one time a month? Like, what is it attendance wise for you?
I think the hardest thing, it's usually the same, every event to event, it's always the same people that are there.
Okay.
And a lot of that is just being in a rural ministry. Like travel ball is, a lot of them are playing
Yes.
travel ball, so they all have either games or practice, and they're all on the same night. Like, there's summer basketball going on right now. There's a whole bunch of stuff to where it's just hard to get people here because they
Yeah.
honestly they don't have the time. I could schedule it any day of the week, and
Okay.
there will be something. And if it's not that, it's like, hey, we finally have a break from all this traveling that we're doing. Let's go on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I totally get it. I love vacation, so
Like you have some adult leaders, right?
I do.
And their summer attendance is kind of spotty as well. Or
So
no, they're solid.
I give our leaders the summer off.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's just me and my wife. It's a smaller group, so it's something that like we
More
can
manageable.
manage. And obviously we have a little more you
Yeah.
know, we're more hands-on with the youth group in general.
Yeah. I do think just expecting nothing to change in the summertime and you just program your regular nights,
Hmm.
um, unless you are a multi-site, huge church with tons of resources, you're taking 3 buses to camp. I've never seen that work in a medium to small size youth group.
Hmm.
So I do think some change is needed, but also the other spectrum, not meeting at all. I've never seen like, you know what, that's really good. That helps us. Sometimes it's just manageable. So many fellow youth workers who listen to this podcast don't meet in the summertime, but it doesn't mean they're not doing ministry in the summertime. So
Sure. Hmm.
I know of 3 youth pastors who go to 3 camps in June, a mission trip in July. So if they do meet, they it's maybe twice. They have 2 Wednesdays open in the whole summer.
Hmm.
But if you don't go to those camps and you sign up in April, or you don't go to that mission trip, there is nothing. And they know that. They know that it's they don't necessarily how to fix it or what to do. Especially if, like Mike, if you aren't there on that Wednesday, you just don't have youth group, right? Because you have
Yeah.
the leaders off.
Hmm.
Yeah. So how do you manage it without burning out? So this is one thing I want to be very careful up front. Sometimes when we talk about programming, it's like you just need to do more. That doesn't necessarily give confidence or encouragement, or it could lead to burnout. Because here's what I found. I wrongly, especially when I was starting off in ministry, built up the end of the school year. Like the end of the school year was huge, huge, huge,
Yeah.
huge, huge. We had end of the school party, which is fine. And then I was exhausted by the time summer hit. And then I was like, okay, why is everyone else not here? I'm exhausted. I'm not putting my full effort. And then I got exhausted through the summer. And then I'm tired before the school year. So our group actually takes summer break, but we don't do it in the summer. We take the month of May off and the month of August off. So our
Hmm.
school system, oh yeah, sorry. There we go. Yeah. My
There you go.
special camera technology.
Yeah.
So listen, May and August. Let's do that. May we meet on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, but Mother's Day, Memorial Day weekend, it's terrible.
Mhm.
Graduations. So we just don't have any programming in May, and it gives us a whole month to just and then we start up in June. And then August, our school system doesn't really start until halfway through August, and our whole kids ministry and everything else doesn't really start till around Labor Day. So it's pretty natural for us to wait. into the very end of August or after Labor Day.
Okay.
Those are two natural breaks. It's like, do you have any breaks in the summertime like that, or what's for your programming?
So we'll do August through May. And
Okay.
well, and I think this year we did August through April because there were in May there was things every Wednesday.
There is.
And that's newer for our community, I think, in the past few
Okay.
years. It's
Like
something that
when you say
we
things, you mean graduations? Because like I actually have high school, we have 19 schools. We have high school graduations Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in
yeah,
some
no.
weeks.
We
Okay,
have
okay.
ours is Sunday afternoon. We have one high school and
So much easier.
yeah, but no, so you're talking end of the year choir concert, that's a Wednesday. End of the year
Oh,
band concert, that's a Wednesday.
yeah.
Maybe regional baseball, if we make
Yep.
it, it's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
All these different things. So it's at that point, it's like, can you have an end of the year party when half your people are gone? No,
Right.
it's
It's
just
super awkward.
it's not a good thing, not a smart decision by any means. So this year we do middle of August to let's just say end of April.
Okay.
And then
How did
what
that
we
work?
it's natural for us, like our
Okay.
students are used to it. They're
Okay.
kind of like, why don't we have youth group during the summer? And I'm like, yeah, I wish. Like, it's fun, you
That's
know.
a
I
great
love it.
idea.
It's a great idea. Maybe your mom and dad should come help. That'd be awesome. Because, like,
Yeah.
So and then June and July, of course, we had middle school camp basically at the end of May, and then high school camp at the end of June. So we try just to fill in like an every week or every other week. If we do every other week, we do an event on like a Tuesday, and then the next week it's Thursday. So you get like
Yeah.
week and a half. So we'll just do some things that are fun, relaxed. And then this year I started meeting with our new student leadership team. We're kind of launching that.
Okay.
So I meet with them every other week. And we do more of like a leader training and talk about events. And so I spent a little more time with those guys during the summer. At least that's what I'm doing this summer. We're trying that out. Um,
Yeah.
you
And,
know,
and so you're having programming, but it's not your normal programming.
no, no, no.
And movie nights you get half.
Hmm.
And some people are really consistent. So it looks like some students are really enjoying it,
Mm.
and but others you're kind of missing out. And so you're like, okay, should I do something? That's kind of the first question. And then what should I do? It's kind of that's what this whole thing, right, starts from.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. We did our water night, like our water wars. And this is something that I want to do every summer is like lots of challenges. We have winners and prizes. Like, something that gets just some
Yeah.
competition. And so, this was our first year doing it, but I was like, it was time to start, and we had 15. And I was like,
Okay.
it's hard to have a competition.
It's deflating.
Like, and everybody's like, where is everybody? And I'm like, you tell me. Those are your friends. I don't know
Yeah.
where they are. I wish I
So,
knew.
does the student say that? Like the students like, where is everyone? Or is it
Yeah,
noticeable?
they'll openly
Oh,
just be like, "Hey, where is everybody?" And I'm
okay.
like,
Okay.
"Good,
Yeah.
your
It
guess is as good as mine." I
it
don't know.
it is super awkward and humbling when you're like, maybe I wasn't the big attractor as I thought I was.
For sure.
Because you're like, I invited everyone, I text everyone, and I have this calendar out. I do all the things
Mhm.
that I do normally, and they're not here. It's very humbling and for me, it's the hardest thing to swallow is like, I'm not actually in control. I would
Sure.
love to
Yeah.
think I'm in control, but
Mhm.
God's in control, and there's nothing I could do if God doesn't want to move, we're
Yeah.
not going to move.
No, for sure.
And it's very humbling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I will say we had a great time with 1,500 water balloons and 20 people. Like, there's a lot you can do. Like it turned out all right. I will
Yeah.
say it was, but you kind of just have you have this plan, and you're like, summer is gonna be awesome, and it is
Yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
but it just looks differently, and so if we're gonna talk about that, we kind of got to address a few different levels here, and so.
Okay.
Let's start with this. So, what if I have a church culture that doesn't do summer programming? How do you
Uh,
start? What do you start with?
yeah. So this is something a step that a lot of youth workers skip, especially if they're brand new, and they're like, I have the energy, I have the availability. A lot of them are brand new if they're just out of college. I'm not married yet. I don't got kids, so I got every night of the week free. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
And then they start, and then they get really deflated because not everyone else is that way, and you haven't built a culture in your church for summer programming. So just let's briefly mention a few things. First off, if you're going to start summer programming, the first conversation you have is with your boss, your lead pastor.
Oh, sure.
Hey, I'm
Hmm.
thinking about having this. Because what you don't want to do is you make a summer calendar, you spread it out to all the parents, and the parents go to the lead pastor's like, what is this? We always do, Harvest Festival or whatever.
Hmm.
And now this idiot youth worker is is trying to start something up, and the lead pastor has to defend you. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where
No.
pastor has to defend you. So first, have that conversation, and then never, ever, ever start big. It is so tempting to do big stuff, like that water balloon thing. I have done that multiple times.
Yeah.
There's going to be 40 people because we average 40 people. There might even be 50 people because they don't have school. So the more people
Hmm.
coming. So I need to make more water balloons. Now,
Hmm.
this is before I've probably filled up probably 10 to 20,000 water balloons in my career with and actually tying around the finger.
Yeah, that's tough.
Until a few years ago, when you had that invention by a youth pastor who just fills up naturally filling water balloons with rubber bands.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the greatest invention ever.
Oh,
But
for sure. It's great.
blisters on my fingers every summer. But
Yeah.
so I've done that. So what I would advise is start off slow. Try to
Hmm.
meet once a month or do one thing or do one short, small Bible study, maybe every other week or once a month. Don't say, okay, we're going to fill this calendar. The first summer, you're trying to build trust. Uh,
Sure.
I would say also change your location. If you don't want that to be like, okay, you meet on Wednesday nights, but meet in your basement or your house. Don't meet at the church.
Hmm.
It's a different feel, and therefore it doesn't feel like, okay, I'm continuing on the same thing.
Sure.
Um,
Hmm.
I love offering Bible studies and really telling this is for people who want to go deeper. If you want to go deeper in your faith this summer, we're not going to do the games. We're not going to do, the movies. We're just going to show up, talk about God, maybe eat some bagels, Bible and bagels, whatever it is.
All right.
Um, and then I would also, if you are there long enough, if you just came in April, I wouldn't necessarily do this, but if you've been there for a year, I would have a parent informational meeting or a combined parent and student event sometime in early summertime or April saying, hey, getting ready for the summer. So
Hmm.
maybe I've done a kickball tournament, students versus parents. Oh, super fun. We bring in hot dogs and brats, and it's just a picnic thing. And you're inviting parents. They're like, oh, yeah, that would be something fun to do. So I always kind of start off because you're building trust. You do not
Hmm.
have any trust in the trust bank just because you plan an event. So you
Yeah.
have to have that. The 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 definition of a success is really finding that rhythm of what works for your context.
Yes.
So don't feel that I need to increase the numbers. Just feel, are people aware that we are continuing meeting in the summer? It just might be a little different. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say is what to start off with is don't go big. Start off small.
Yeah. I think that's good. That's good. I've learned my lesson on this. Just, yeah, you want your first summer event to be
Yeah.
right. You're like, this is going to be the best thing we have ever done,
And it's natural to do that.
I hate to break it to you guys who are planning that right now.
I know. You're literally
It's
filling up
not
water
gonna
balloons
be, and
while you're
it's
listening to this.
okay. It's okay. It's not,
It Summertime is almost you almost need to do the complete opposite of what you've always been doing
mhm,
during the school year or your years. It's like, okay, it's counterintuitive, and you have to do the opposite of what you think would work.
mhm,
I I can't explain why. That's just how it is.
mhm.
But the ultimate goal is, I do think you should offer something.
Yeah.
If you're a paid youth worker, whether it's part time or full time, you should not take the summer off and not do anything.
Mhm,
Doesn't necessarily mean you need to be actual youth ministry, youth group, but going months without regular gatherings almost kills momentum. And
Yeah.
you might not even know it because you come back in the fall and you're so used to it. You've been doing this for so many years, but man, you're starting over every fall. That's not always good. And if you're having some struggle with traction later on in the school year, it might be because you're starting over in August and you take the
Yeah.
first 3 months to connect with people, to build trust. And by the time it's ready to go, end of the year school party and you're done. So
Yeah.
students don't stop growing in the summertime.
No, no.
And it doesn't necessarily mean they need you to grow, but man, you're there to guide them and help them. So
Hmm.
providing something happens. Yeah, so ministry naturally drifts backwards when no one is intentionally pushing it forward.
Yeah.
So if you're not saying, okay, guys, here's what's next, here's what we're going to do, here's the importance. It's important that we gather together. And when you
Hmm.
take the whole summer off, how do you answer the question, is it important that we gather?
Yeah.
Because I would say, yes, it is important, except for the summertime, because I know
Right.
you're really busy. I know that's true and it's false at the same time. Like
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
and that's where it gets tricky because you want to tell the parents, hey, prioritize youth ministry, but they also have other things out there. And so
Mhm.
you're trying to find this balance. So, like,
Sure.
have you talked to parents much about this, or this is just kind of a new problem you're trying to address?
I think once again, this is like the rural context, I think a little bit is that parents are pretty free range, just like
Yeah.
your kid, like go do what you want. If you don't want to go,
Right.
you don't have to go.
Because you're in a small town
I
and
mean,
they just
yeah,
kind of ride
like
their bikes and
yeah, like
drive.
it's not that like to them it's not that serious.
Yeah.
And me as a youth pastor, I'm a little more serious, and I'm like, I think it's important that we do this. And like maybe at home it's not like, hey, it's still important because maybe we
Yeah.
don't, because things don't look the same or because, it's your one day off during the summer, like whatever it is.
Right.
Um, it's hard. And so something I do remember is early on, probably after my second summer, I was in a deacon meeting. And once again, I've explained my summer schedule, or just a little bit ago, so you guys
Yeah.
are familiar with that. And I was asked basically, "Hey, we pay you during the summer. How come you quit meeting?" And it
So
was
you
like
were asked that directly.
directly in this
Wow.
meeting, and I was like, I was getting ready to say something, and my lead pastor said, "Hey, like, you have two camps. We do things every 10 days. Like,
Yeah.
we're okay."
Yeah.
And um
That's nice
you
that he
know
had your back.
I know because like once again like as a young leader in the church, I was ready to like fight for my life. I'm like, hold on, wait a
Yeah.
minute,
Yeah,
what
you have
did you
no
say to
idea the
me?
number of hours
I am
I put in.
exhausted right now. I just got back from camp where I got 3 hours of sleep per night.
Yeah. And why don't you come and fill up water balloons with me and then you tell me how busy I am.
Yeah, come on now. And I'm gonna get the ones that you have to tie them with your finger. All right,
Yeah. There
all
you go.
right.
Don't
We're
get the cheap
we're
ones. You
not
have
we're
to
not
tie
doing
these
that.
ones.
We're not doing that. And so it definitely can feel that way. It can look that way. And so it's something that obviously you have to be intentional with. And you just have to communicate it well.
Yeah.
And so kind of talking on that, it's like, summer isn't a pause.
Right.
It's a transition. And so um,
Yeah.
if you have to communicate it that way though. Because if it's not,
Yes.
if it is not communicated that way, families are more likely than not to say, because things are changing, this is optional now.
Yes.
Because we're
You,
not doing a Bible study every week, it's no longer like,
yeah.
whatever.
That is
Um,
so true. When you make it to where we don't have to meet, whether you mean to or not, you are saying youth ministry is not as important because it's the summer, or it meeting together is just not as important. Yes,
mhm.
that well, you don't mean to communicate that, but if I was a family and I saw that, like, oh, we're not going to meet for 4 months. Oh, okay. Like that just to me is like, okay, this is not as important.
Yeah, and then yeah, you lose credibility very, very fast. Anything that you've built has the opportunity just to kind of crumble or just be forgotten
Yeah.
about, even not even, just put on a back burner, and it takes a long time to build that back.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
So once again, this is my big thing is like, how do you keep and even just make momentum during the summer months? Kyle, you kind of talked about this. Is the first thing is that you have to redefine what success is for you in the summer.
Yeah. And so this is so important. Like, I always thought numbers are the judge on if
Yeah.
something's successful or not. I have more numbers this year than I did the previous year, therefore it's more successful.
Hmm.
And the summertime is counterintuitive. You have to think backwards and redefine what do you think success is in the summertime? Maybe success is we're just meeting. Our church has not met in the summer for the past 50 years. And success is that you made it through the whole summer and you had people show up every week. That
Yeah, for
that
sure.
is
That's
okay.
great.
That is
Mhm.
something that's successful. You went from zero to two people. That's a 200% increase. All right.
Yeah, that is math.
So so be right, yeah. So be
That's
okay with that.
math.
Also, if you looked at scripture, Jesus had crowds,
Oh
but those
yeah.
crowds never stayed. We
Oh
counted
no.
them like 5,000, 4,000 people in the crowds, or men in the crowd, plus women and children. But they all left. They went there for that event. They heard that sermon, but they all left. Who did Jesus stay with day in, day out? It was his small group of disciples.
Yeah.
So if you have a small group of faithful families or faithful students, invest in them. That might be a successful summer. So
Yeah.
don't focus on like the big events. Doesn't mean you can't have big events. I think you should still have big events. But the summertime, you should be focusing on developing your adult leaders, going out to lunch with them, meeting with
Mhm.
them, getting new students connected. A brand new student comes, you have months to pour into them that you might not have in the school year. Develop those relationships, have those shared experiences, especially when it comes to camp. Like you sign up in May or April or even February of camp, and then you experience camp in the summertime. Seize those opportunities, follow up with camp, all that. The question
Yeah.
asks, what if summer isn't about gathering the big crowds, but what if it's investing in the few and you come out of summer
Yeah.
with a deeper relationship with five students that you never had
Mhm.
before? I guarantee you that's just as impactful as if you had five events with 500 people.
Yeah. I mean, that's this idea of like relationships are more important than your program.
Yeah.
Um, when things are said and done, a student comes to your youth group, they're not going to remember what we did on Wednesday night or Sunday night.
Right.
They're gonna remember how you poured into them when they were going through a breakup, or how you were there
Yeah.
for them when their parents were getting a divorce, or like how you helped develop them into who they are. And I think I think starting kind of this summer has been my more of my approach. I have my student leadership team, which last
Yes.
year last year we had it, and I kind of just let them serve on Wednesday nights, and we didn't really do much because it was a new thing and just kind of wanted to be honest, we don't have a lot of adult leaders, so I really had to get some of those guys plugged in, and it helped me out
Yeah.
tremendously. But this summer, I changed it up, and I said, hey, if you're gonna be on student leadership team this year, we're gonna have like mandatory trainings. I expect you to help with our events, all
Yeah.
these different things. And it's turned out so far to be, I think, really beneficial. And I even have a group of guys that we meet at my house, we play video games, and I think I'll mention them throughout this entire podcast because I've said this since we started this group. I was like, if nothing else in this ministry is working, I want this group of guys to be like, going somewhere because
Right. Right.
um, those are the guys that I'm able to pour extra time into. And so um, when it comes to summer gives you something that you don't have really during the school year, and that's time.
Yes.
And maybe it could be the same amount of time, but it's way more flexible. There's usually fewer commitments, and so you can do so much more within, let's just say, 16 hours of a day, you know.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. 8 hours of the day is dedicated to school, all right,
Mhm.
during the school year. And that might be replaced maybe 2 hours because they have to mow a lawn or do some chores
Yeah.
or something like that. But they work during the school year as well in the summer. You have some time that you don't necessarily realize. And I like how you're like, okay, these guys, I'm going to invest in these guys. Because if one was redefine what success is in the summer, and two is prioritize relationship over programs, those two go hand in hand, as in,
Yeah.
okay, it doesn't mean you're not prioritizing relationships in the school year, but you need to seize the moment when it comes to
Mhm.
the summertime. That requires some creativity, not just, okay, you're not doing anything for 5 days. Come and just hang out at the church for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess you could do that. I don't know
Yeah.
if it would
No.
be
Please don't.
successful.
Please don't.
And I think that just is you're a babysitting service rather than a youth worker at then.
Mm.
But I would say you have more time to meet with your adult leaders. So I try to meet with my adult leaders in the summertime more than ever before. We try to have
Mm.
an adult leader barbecue sometime in July, just one time meet. And
Mhm.
if you're free, come on a Friday night. We have food. We usually go to a person's house and they can go swimming if they want.
Yeah.
And so we kind of do that. I go out to lunches. Here's one thing that I've done. I don't know. Do you have a restaurant in your town, Mike?
We do. We have a little burger place. That's
Okay.
about it. So.
Okay. I live in a city that has multiple restaurants. Here's what I love doing. We probably do it twice a summer. And the first one is okay, it's Taco Bell. It's right close to our church.
Hmm.
We go there, and I put on social media from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Me and the interns are going to be at Taco Bell. If you show up, you get one free taco, and we just chat. And most of the students stay all 2 hours, and we just talk and laugh and joke, and we
Yeah.
get really hot spicy sauce, and but the interns get to know the students, and all they have to do is show up, and it's like a free lunch. So it's just one of those things people look for that. We don't do it every week because that's way too much budget wise, but also
Hmm.
it doesn't make it special.
Sure.
I say, okay, let's do pick up basketball games, and I get a bunch of students going. Like you do video games, right?
Yeah.
I take some people out to go disc golfing. So I'm actually in the office less in the summertime because I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
Uh, and that means it, I would usually spend most of my time planning the next big event. Okay, we have this event, I have to plan this event. So, like 5 hours this Tuesday, I'm getting ready for the event tomorrow. And I realized, man, that's not a good use of my time in the summertime. I
Yeah.
should be with people and do less programming. So one last thing I would say is prioritizing relationship and programmings. When you prioritize communication, you prioritize building trust with parents.
Yeah.
So your relationship with parents can increase in the summertime too. What I mean by that is have your summer all planned out in April. And so when you have the end of the year school year party or your last
Hmm.
youth group in April, May, you're handing out your summer calendar. And so parents can see, oh, okay. And I have some parents, they look for it. We pass it out in early April because they are planning their summer vacations and they have
Hmm.
prioritized, not all. I would love to think these are all parents. No, these are a handful of parents are prioritizing their summer schedule or the youth ministry summer schedule, and they move their vacations around so it doesn't
Hmm.
compete. And that only happens when I plan ahead further. That includes like I have spontaneous events, but I plan it in, so it's not public. But I know, okay, this Tuesday, don't plan something really big because we're going to go to Taco Bell. But it's a lot of work earlier in the year. Yeah,
I
so
like
that's kind of how
that.
you prioritize relationships.
And I like that. And once again, it's all based on context because, like for me being in a small town, I would love to say it's April. Here's our summer schedule. Here you go. No, I need to wait for basketball camp, football camp,
Yeah.
like band. Because if I don't,
Baseball.
if I accidentally do that, the schedule the same day, it's not gonna go.
Yeah.
We go from 15 to 7 or 6, which by
Yeah.
the way, you can do you can accomplish a lot with a smaller group, but I don't want to sit here and say that because
It's a
you only
bad. Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
6, it's a terrible thing. But you want to be strategic about how you do that. You want to maximize these opportunities
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the bigger the better, but you know, do your due diligence, look
Yeah.
at all the
And
calendars you got to and all
your
those.
summer calendar might just be two events,
Yeah,
right? That
that's
that's
great.
at least something,
Hmm.
at least something. And maybe two events and a camp.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Well, and that so like our kind of leads into our third one here is that in youth ministry you have to create rhythms and not just events.
Yes.
Right. A lot of youth groups they do a missions trip in the summer because you have more free time. Um, and then it goes well. Like lives are changed. Like
Yes.
you get this like firsthand feeling of like what it actually means to share the gospel with somebody who's not
Yeah,
like
I'm always going to be in favor of mission trips. Yes.
yeah, like and it's a great thing. But then all of a sudden you don't see your students for 6 weeks,
Mm.
right? And then
Right.
same thing goes
They had
for
this huge
camp.
mountaintop experience and
Yeah.
then just off the cliff.
There's just this you're missing this follow up.
You're
Like
on your own.
right, yeah, I know.
Why?
It's like yeah, middle school camp, high school camp. It's like hard when you do a lot of the summer events, like big emotional, spiritual time with like full on invested time with God. It's hard to do this, but you have to have a follow up plan for these mission trips, for these camps.
Yeah.
And it all comes in these rhythms, right? And it's
Right.
not just about having the event, but like creating these rhythms. It's just so crucial for summer programming.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what when I say a rhythm, what do you think that means, Mike? So like in the summertime, or sorry, in the school year, what is your weekly rhythm for like the student perspective? Like when do you naturally meet? Do you meet Sunday mornings? Do you meet Sunday Wednesday nights? Do you see the same people each? Like what is a rhythm for like a
Yeah,
week for you?
it's usually Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Okay.
And we usually do an evening thing, so we're talking like 7 to 9 is pretty standard.
Okay.
Um, anything that we do during the summer is most likely 7 to 9. Occasionally the 8 to 10, but like
Yeah.
we're not doing something at 10 a.m. on Monday and then 3 p.m. on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and and it's not and there's consistency kind of throughout that, and
And
so
do you normally meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the school year or Wednesdays?
we do Wednesdays during the school year.
And so in the summertime, you switch up. You don't meet Wednesdays or you do?
We don't.
Okay. And so it's Tuesdays or Thursdays or Tuesday and Thursday.
So once again, it's that week one is Tuesday, week two it's Thursday, week three is Tuesday,
Okay. I
week
haven't heard this
four is
before. Can I ask why the every other one? Is it sports or what?
yeah. So I tried Tuesdays and Thursdays for the most part seem to be what works best for some of our sports kids. Some of them still they have practice regardless, but I have to avoid Friday, um,
Okay.
and I have to avoid the weekends.
Okay.
Personally, I don't love Monday because I'm kind of just you're kind of getting into the week.
And they just had church the previous day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
I'm following you.
so I think yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays are good. I try to avoid Wednesdays just because it's what we normally do. And I get if there's something I need to do middle of the week, I can have it done on a Wednesday compared to
Yeah.
having to push it off or so it kind of creates just for me a little bit of for my week it makes sense. But also just for all the sports families and things. Some of them you can't control that it's going to happen, but
Right.
like I said, I try to put between Tuesday and Thursday. I tried to put a few extra, a little bit longer than a week, because I don't want it to seem like we're meeting every week because it's new. It's a new rhythm. Um,
Yes.
but
So you're kind of creating the rhythm.
yeah, it's what we kind of do, and so I don't want once again I don't want it to seem like we're doing the same stuff. Oh, we're still going to meet every Wednesday, but guess what? We're not going to do it feels just, I think they would prefer we just kept youth group going at that point, and
Okay.
so Tuesdays
Yeah.
and Thursdays, it changes the day. It gives them a little bit of a helps communicate the hey, this is not youth group necessarily. I mean, as far as
Yeah.
what you
And
would
and maybe
expect.
that's kind of what you're going for is and hey, we're switching it up. In the
Hmm.
summertime, it's not the youth group, it's something different. And
Hmm.
that could be a rhythm. You like That's why I like rhythms rather than programming. So a rhythm is something like it might be totally different the rhythm in the summertime than the school year, but you've built a reputation, a culture of okay, this is what we
Mhm.
do in the summertime.
Yeah,
So
people just know.
not meeting is a rhythm.
Yeah.
So, so for us, we went back and forth. So my previous church, we met on Wednesday nights, but did something totally different. And we did Tuesday mornings, and we had Bible studies, and it was kind of structured and crazy because that worked in a smaller church
Yeah.
context. I work in a medium to bigger church, 1,300 people on a Sunday morning. So it's not really feasible to drastically change the schedule because I have parents who prioritize youth ministry, yes, and the church, but man, they pack their student schedule. I got
Mhm.
karate and work and drama, right? And it's
Karate.
scheduled drama.
It's just summer karate,
Yeah.
guys. Travel karate. It's
Yeah, well, I got travel volleyball in the summertime.
yeah.
Like that's not the season. Oh yeah, I'm doing club.
Yep.
It's crazy to me.
Hmm.
So, what we have learned is our high school meets on Sunday nights, our middle school meets on Wednesday nights. That's what we're going to do. 99% of our programming is going to be a Sunday or a Wednesday night. So if we do something, that's what it is. But we
Hmm.
didn't want to meet year round and we didn't want to do the normal thing. So we still meet for our youth group on Sunday nights for high school and our Wednesday nights for middle school. But we actually changed the programming. Here's what we found. We normally have small groups for both nights. So for high school, we have a meal and then announcements, maybe a game, worship, lesson, and then small groups are at 7:30 and they go for about an hour. And so that's really good in the school year. What we have found is adult leaders, like our small group leaders, they need a break.
Yeah.
And so we don't meet for small groups in the summertime, but we do meet for everything else. So we'll
Mhm.
meet and we have worship and we have a lesson. Instead of small groups, we have after parties.
Okay.
That's what we call them, after parties. And some are heavy programming, but most of them are very light programming. Like this a couple weeks ago, we had waffles and worship. So we
Right.
just got some waffles and then we had some worship and we did a lesson and then we ate waffles at the end.
Yeah. Great.
It was
Great.
super easy. It was fun, but the adult leaders have the summer off. A lot of them still show up, but they're not expected to be there every summer. Now
Hmm.
here's the thing. I do have interns to help with the load.
Hmm.
So if it's just you and your wife or you and your spouse, it's going to be a lot and you might need to be creative in that.
Hmm.
But for me, we realize that's so much easier to still meet with that rhythm. It's going to be Sunday nights, but we won't have small groups. We'll do other relationship oriented events. We brought out some hammocks, we brought board games, we ended with karaoke one time. So it's all
Sweet.
still together. Not necessarily okay, you're on your own. The other from middle school, we normally meet 6:30 to 8. Like when is your time you meet on Wednesday nights for the school year?
During the school year, we do 6:30 to 8.
6:30. Yeah, yeah. So we do the same thing. We have worship, lesson, small groups, game time, all in that hour and a half. So it's
Hmm.
pretty a tight schedule.
Yeah.
In the summertime, what we do is we actually offer, we call them hangout nights. We're pretty blatant as 7 to 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, hangout night for both middle school and high school.
Okay.
And we have a little like a snack shack. We call it the hub, where you can buy candy and specialty drinks and pop and all of that.
Hmm.
We offer karaoke. The gym is open. We play dodgeball. You can just hang out. Video games. Our gaming center is open. But hangout nights is 7 to 9, no programming. What we do
Hmm.
offer instead is split studies. So our middle school meets from 6:30 to 7, and guys meet in one room, girls meet in the other, and each of our interns lead that. And it's just a short Bible study. So it's not a full programming, but we found that if you want to come early, great. But if you don't want to come early, that's okay. We just don't want people who don't want to do serious stuff come early and distract the students who do want to do serious stuff.
Sure.
So we
Yeah.
have
Good
several
thought.
students who are coming to the hangout night and there's no judge to they missed the split study. But we really want the people who want to be there and be really into it. So that's one thing we found is why are we forcing everyone to do the same thing? Let's just make
Yeah.
it serious. And that's just for middle school students because high school always meets Sunday nights. So For your group, if you offer a serious Bible study, like let's say you don't do a movie night, how do you think your students would respond?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I think I think you'd see a different group
Okay.
um,
Okay.
come out of that, which would be really good. But I do think there would be a little bit of the
Pushback?
yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of cheated and just offered both. But
Yes, well, yeah.
but that was our rhythm is we want Wednesday nights. And so we did what we for this is our second year offering hangout nights and split studies. For years, our middle school just didn't meet. Our high school met throughout the summer, but our middle school didn't meet. And man, it was totally different group every fall. And it
Mhm.
just, I could tell that the momentum really was hurting. But when we offer this, we have some really strong middle school leaders that we met and invested in for 2 months leading into throughout the summer, leading into the
Mhm.
fall. Man, they were our leaders, whether we designate them leaders or not.
Yeah.
And because they were close to our leaders and they showed up to Bible studies, I just want the goal of every student to know, okay, Sunday nights, I know where my people are. Wednesday nights, I know where my people are, even if the
Mhm.
programming is different. That's kind
Yeah.
of really what I think that you can't really build momentum unless there's some kind of consistency as well. Like one event doesn't build momentum. You have to consistently have something, whether it's events or programming.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, Kyle, thank you for that. I think kind of the idea of what we're kind of saying here for those of you guys that are like kind of confused, it's this momentum that it comes from consistency
Yeah.
more than it does the intensity.
Okay. Yeah.
So like if people know what you're doing, right, this is that rhythm, they
Yeah.
come to know that this is what we do, this is when we do it. It doesn't matter how big the event necessarily is. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much money or how much time that you put into it. Momentum is built from consistency. If people are wondering when you're going to meet again, it's going to be hard to get that
Yeah.
consistency because what you have is you have students who don't have phones, so they have no way of checking a summer schedule. So they
Yeah.
just have to know, like, you know what I mean? They have to have it in
Yeah.
the back of the head.
And
You have,
parents have to keep track of your calendar and their soccer calendar and everything else.
and guess what? Those calendars are way bigger than what you're offering. So you're down there already buried at the bottom. Okay, all right. It's not, it's
You're
just
just happy to
summertime.
be there.
You
You're
just
just
have to
happy
be
to be
there.
on the fridge.
I know, like, yeah, honestly, at that point. And so, yeah, momentum comes from consistency more than intensity. And so, our fourth, um, I guess, piece of
Advice?
advice,
Yeah, yeah.
is to use camp as a launch pad and not a finish line.
Okay.
A lot of times in youth ministry, we look at camp and it's this kind of just this destination.
Yeah.
We're finally here.
It's the end.
Guess what? Our students' lives are finally going to change this week in these 5 days.
We fundraise for this. We plan for this. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so which I get it as a youth worker, it's a sigh of relief to just get there and be like, all right, what do you got for us this week, God?
Yeah.
It's a really nice thing because it takes a lot of work. Um, but what happens after camp? Like
We
we
can relax now.
we just act like nothing happened. You
Yes.
know? Students are like, I gave my life to Jesus, and they're like, I want to get baptized. I want to
Pride night
get
was
more.
amazing.
Yeah, like right, yeah, like you're all wrapped up in all of this, and then we get back, and it's like, that's awesome. Have fun at volleyball.
Yeah. It's a cliff. See you this
Yeah.
fall.
If can't wait to get you baptized in hopefully October. Let's hope you're
Yeah.
still on fire by then.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
we're not trying to throw shade and insult the groups who've
no.
that's kind of what you do because you're exhausted, especially if you're a volunteer. Man, it took everything I had to get them to camp. And so I
Mhm.
need a break. I get that. Um, I really didn't have camp be a big part of my ministry until probably just before COVID. and and this is where a perception changed in my mind, where before the end goal was getting to camp, and once they're at camp, then everything will be okay. I realize the camp has to, like you said, has to be a launching pad. It has to launch us something else. So we do camp recap parties afterwards. We take one of our Sunday nights and we show some funny pictures and share the stories, and we share for the students who miss camp. And you know what? Our camp attendance grows almost every year. Like
Okay.
because people see, oh, I missed out on this cool thing. I was on the fence. I'm an introvert. I didn't have the money, whatever excuse it was.
Sure.
But when we have camp recap parties, that whole next year is like, hey, remember that? Remember what we did? And when we promote it for the next spring, even those months later, all of a sudden,
Mhm.
yeah. So we actually we don't do a lot of promotion for camp. We just talk about it year round,
Okay.
and all of a sudden people sign up. So I think using camp is okay. If camp is like right in the middle of summer, what are you doing after camp that
Hmm.
could lead, or it's like a lily pad, even you're jumping from the next one that could lead to
Sure.
the fall. So I've challenged. So we on Cry Night we get all of our youth together in our church and we say, okay, this is ending. This camp is ending, or this also could be a mission trip. You can treat camp like a mission trip,
Yeah.
same thing.
Sure.
And so, okay, what do we want to do? What do you want to do now on this? What's one thing you want to do different after camp now? And some people say personal things. I want to treat my sister better. I want to read the Bible, whatever. But I do
Sure.
have some students like, I want to get into a Bible study. And we actually start several Bible studies after camp. Our
Okay.
camp is like kind of right in the middle of the summer. So there are sometimes a Bible study that meets for 4 weeks because it's the end of June.
Sure.
Excuse me, and they have 4 weeks in July. But yeah, they say, okay, let's start that. So we allowed them to lead, we allowed them to try. And the last thing is we purposely do baptism at the beginning of August. And we
Okay.
use camp as a launching pad, and we really push, okay, you just accepted Christ, or you just rededicated your life, or whatever phrase you want.
Sure.
um,
Yeah.
then you say, okay, your next step could be baptism. And we do a
Mhm.
big potluck, and we get baptized at the lake, and we have tons of people getting baptized and hearing stories and all that. But we do it in August because camp could be that launching pad. And it's
Yeah.
so much easier to get people signed up for baptism in the summertime than in school year when you're trying to do everything. Okay, we need to figure out the summer. Like, do you have a baptismal in your church or do you bring in a tub, Mike?
We have one in our church.
Okay, and is it open up in the back behind the drum set or what?
It's drum set. Yeah, right. No, it's behind our stage. It's open.
Oh, it's open.
It's open. It's out there.
Okay, it's out there.
It's a
Yeah,
full
so
on. You got to get down in the water. Like it's not one you stand outside of and you're able
do people
to.
just see this with or is it
They get
lower?
like about
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Uh, you
I
know.
just love those YouTube videos which is like baptism's gone bad and it's like there's just this little kid. It's like I'm not excited
Some of
for
the
it.
small kids, dude, like
Or they just jump in
they
and
gotta
it's like
like
a
tippy
cannonball.
toe and then they kind of hold onto the ledge and they wave at their
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that does
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah,
Yes.
so cute. But that's the one thing that I learned, and it wasn't something because I'm, a genius and it was perfect. No, lots and lots of mistakes. I realized, oh, baptism is a great next step after camp. So camp starts the momentum, baptism continues the momentum, and then discipleship leads to more and more. And then,
Hmm.
man, that's so much easier. It's not every single student, but the students who do follow that path, whew,
Hmm.
I can see the change.
We could do a whole nother episode on this. And
That's true.
before we hit this fifth point, I want to ask you like what is your way of pushing baptism during camp? What does that
Hard.
look like? Yes, turn or burn. It's just
All right.
no. I'm just
So,
curious because I have students who have talked about it and like I'm like, hey, just I want to meet with you or meet with you and your parents or whatever, try to have a little bit of a conversation. And they're just hesitant, and I would
yeah,
love to leave camp and be like, hey, let's show people that you're actually about it. Let's
yeah.
show people that you made the decision.
Okay. Full disclosure, theology wise, and some people might disagree, and
Sure.
so it's a little different. If you go to a church that does infant baptism, you're not going to be pushing it at camp. Um, my church believes that believers' baptism, you get baptized after you're saved, and so that's
Sure.
why you get saved first, and then your next step.
Right.
So at camp, what we do is we really push it, as especially to the people who go up and pray. So altar call, response time, whatever you call it. Some students go to camp and they get saved. Some people, they say, okay, I've drifted from God and now I'm getting back to it. And we say, okay, you made a public display for this. I think you can do one more public display. Or sometimes we say, Jesus made a public display for you. I think you can make a public display for him.
Yeah.
And so we actually, as part of our follow-up process, hey, you accepted Christ. Maybe not that night, maybe the next day over
Mhm.
breakfast, or if they accepted Christ at the camp, I try to meet with them that next week. Hey, you're free for lunch. Have you
Sure.
told your parents? I ask that, and then I say, okay, if you look at Scripture, wherever in the New Testament it says, okay, they got saved, whenever it says baptism, it says they got saved and then was baptized. Like there wasn't,
Mhm.
and then they met with for a 4 week baptism class. And
Right. Right.
so we do have classes. We have informational meetings. We don't call them classes. Informational meetings at the end of July, where a parent and a student shows up and they attend that class. They learn all about what baptism is. They learn all about why we're doing this, and then you celebrate the baptism. But I push it pretty hard for the people who dedicated, and I know they're not baptized. Like this is your next
Right.
step. What do I do next? This is what you do next. You do baptism.
Okay.
And by doing it, I say hard, by going hard, it actually helps with that versus inviting, like, if you're up for it, if you don't got anything time, or, if like, that's not what baptism
Mhm.
is. It's a public declaration. So we say, okay, this is the next step. And you're going public with your faith. Because if you go public with your faith, your friends, your family, everyone else in your life holds you accountable, whether you
Yeah.
mean to or not. And so that's kind of why we do that big push. But it's so much easier. And you could say it's manipulative. I think it's strategic. It's depending on your definition. Using that emotional high at camp, leading into the next thing that needs to be somewhat emotional or scary, or that emotional
Mhm.
need or high for baptism, we seize that moment, and so we're unabashedly with that. Now the process is much more private. We meet with them one on one. We can't talk to them why
Yeah.
they're doing this, but yeah, that's kind of how we operate, and it's worked well. Partly because you can be a little bit more challenging in this at camp than you can on a Sunday night or Wednesday night. Everyone
Yeah.
should get baptized. This is very important, and like, okay, but they're not
Yeah.
there ready, spiritually, emotionally, whatever. So that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Let's touch on our fifth and kind of just final piece of
Yeah,
advice here. Start building fall before fall arrives. Um,
yeah,
the strongest fall ministries, they start in June and July.
yeah,
Meaning, like, you know what you're gonna do come August. Like, you're building into the year. You're not, your high point isn't the summer. It's easy for it to be that way, right? Because of camp,
yeah.
because of mission trips, because of all these things, because of this big event that went well, right? But we want to build our ministries to grow and be bigger during the school year. And so there's a lot of things that you can do during that time. Summer is a great time for you to recruit leaders and just give them a
Yeah.
little experience. Summers are low, like, I don't say low energy, but as far as like what you're needing leaders to give, hopefully
Yeah.
it's a
Low
little lower
expectations.
energy. There's low expectations. It gives you time to train your leaders. If
Yep.
they have, I know it's hard because they probably have kids in sports and things, but it becomes a little bit easier. The best
Yeah.
time to train your leaders is during the summer.
Yeah.
Summer also, if you can plan out your whole school year, or even at least your first semester, like just getting
Yeah.
something out there that shows you're about it and shows that you have something ready, that
Yeah.
you're not
I mean,
just, it's that
you need
communication piece.
intentionality. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that communication piece. Um,
Especially if you have this, okay, I have a really good momentum happening in the summertime. What's next? If you don't know what's next, you're not building momentum.
no.
That requires intentionality. Yeah.
Mhm. And here's something, if you don't have goals set for the year, you can't build towards anything. Like,
Yeah.
whatever, even if it's like, hey, even if it's numerical, whether it's based on, whatever, whatever context that you're in, like, you gotta have something that you're working towards.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't want to do events for no reason. You don't want to just meet for fun. Like, have a goal, have a plan, like, be working towards that.
so Mike, if I challenge you, okay, I want you to have one goal. It doesn't necessarily have to be numerical, but one goal for this upcoming school year for your youth ministry. What would you say? Like, what's one goal that you would want to have?
I would, once again, it's hard not to be numerical because
Yeah,
like
you can.
numerical, I will say like it's the most measurable
Yeah.
goal, right? But I think for our students, I would like to see. I won't put a number on it, but I would. The goal for me this year would be to have a group of students who are ready to be baptized and do it.
Okay.
Taking the next step of faith, right? And I could say five, I could say 10, but
Yeah.
like
You're also
ideally,
going to do percentage is
yeah.
right now, 30% of our youth ministry it has been baptized. I
Mhm.
would love by the end of this school year, 40%.
Yeah,
So it doesn't necessarily mean an exact
sure.
number. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, that's probably where I'm at. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, and I would say the goals are important because you program for your goals. So
Hmm.
part of our calendar process is we do our goals and then we calendar from that. So if our goal is like, I would love that 20 students has done one Bible reading plan this school year.
Yeah, that's great.
So this is what we do. Okay,
Yeah.
then we need to create Bible reading plans or find Bible reading plans, offer that to small groups, whatever. Or it
Mhm.
might be, I would love to have 10 guests this fall semester, that 10 new people come on a Sunday morning. Guess what
Yeah.
I'm going to be promoting from the stage? Hey, bring your friends.
Yeah.
Um, Another one could be is okay. I I would like 40 lunches between myself and all of our small group leaders. I want 40 lunches where an adult takes out a student for lunch, or they go to the school
Yeah.
and eat lunch at school. So we're going to do 40. Numbers are good because they can track it.
Hmm.
Doesn't always have to be a number thing, but man, I would say 1 to 2 goals are good. You're getting 10 goals, I think it's too much.
Yeah.
But finding goals for the fall while you're doing in the summer, it's good. And I always also have some goals in the summer. So we call it 50%. Um, 50% goal is everything we do, we need to have at least 50% of the numbers that we had before. So if we're averaging 50, like I don't know what you said, 40 people in
Yeah.
the summer, if you're averaging 20, that's a good goal and says, okay,
Hmm.
we've successfully met our goal because 50%. I think
Hmm.
it's really hard to say we're going to have a 150% increase in the summer programming.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe for an event like a lock-in or a big event, but rarely is that your regular weekly
Hmm.
programming. So I always say 50% is a better goal than anything
Yeah.
above 100.
Yeah. I'm with you.
But plan the fall is the key. So you know at the end of summer, you're handing a calendar, you're getting ready. Hey, guess what? This big event's coming up. We have a lock-in coming up, mid-September. Be ready for that, whatever it could be.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you guys, Kyle. Thank you for kind of providing some insight on that, and hopefully, those of you guys watching or listening, we're hoping that you're having a great summer. We're hoping that we're able to kind of help you out a little bit. Hopefully, you're able to take something away and maybe not use it this summer, but
Yeah.
you know,
You
as
can
you
start planning
go.
for next summer
You
now.
can,
It's
you,
okay.
it's okay. You can do it. It's tough, and as hard as a season this can be for youth ministry, it's such a rewarding one if you do it right. And
Yeah.
so, we just want to thank you guys for listening to the Embrace the Awkward podcast. If this episode made you nod your head, not so many funny moments today, but if you laughed or feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable, mission accomplished.
Yes.
Connect with us on Instagram or YouTube at the ETA podcast.
And
At the ETA podcast.
we are working on getting more updated swag. So I
We
I
really
have the
are. We
swag.
promise, guys. This is not just
Okay.
something we're saying.
Okay.
See, that's great. We need to get you on a poster, Kyle.
I know that. Yeah, with a thumbs up. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll get that available and we'll start launching that. we're kind of busy in the summer, so maybe
It's
after the summer.
we're we're slowly building. We're still here. We're still making some content.
Yeah.
We're it just looks a little different. The rhythm is different during the summer. So
Yes.
uh feel free to swing by embracetheawkward.com, see what we got going on there. Of course, we will. Once again, as Kyle said, we'll update some merch and some awkward things going on there in the coming time. That's
In
an
the
accurate
future.
statement in the future. So, hit subscribe, leave a review. If it's funny, we might even share it to open up one of our episodes. We'd love to
Oh
hear
yeah.
from you guys. We cannot do this without any input from you. We need to know what questions you have, what's going well, what's not going well. We'd love to hear about your youth ministry.
Yeah,
Uh,
DM us.
yeah, DM us. We maybe even we bring you on the show. It's that special. We'd love to do that. We love having special guests.
Especially if you have a problem with the show, we would love to have you on.
Let's bring them on. Let's bring them on. We appreciate you guys. Just remember, awkward isn't something to avoid; it's something to embrace. Thank you guys for being part of the journey. We'll see you next time.
Bye.